Where I live, autumn falls in the middle of the year. I personally feel that the period of March to June is usually filled with the chaotic energy of the first months of the year and the rush and initial high to accomplish New Year's resolutions, of course, among other things. But this year is different for me. It started to be cold, and I mean very cold, very early in the year, the very beginning of the autumn season. Where I live, we have had temperatures as low as 2 degrees Celsius, and it is not even winter yet. Given this weather, hand in hand with my own personal desire to slow down and be more present, I simply started to pay more attention, looking at the sky more often, noticing the changing colors of the trees on the sides of the road on my way to work, being a little less in my head. But nothing external changed. It was me who did, because autumn had actually always been there. By noticing, I suddenly started to feel more present, more grounded, more alive, like some things could no longer continue to go unnoticed, unlooked at, unimportant, invisible, no longer just a part of my rushed life, my rushed eyes that failed to see what's around me, and my rushed mind. Autumn was different. It felt different because I suddenly made the space to let it unfold in front of my eyes. So I decided to make this video and share this love letter to my newfound, yet somehow always there deep down, love for autumn, as a way to share it with you, as a way to make you see something that has been wanting to get your attention, and as a way to remember it. As I am recording this, it's currently the beginning of June, and I recently came across a phrase that said creative processes take time and start unscattered, unstructured, like a blob. So you probably won't hear these thoughts until I have actually finished collecting them and I have actually shaped them into something I feel is meaningful. As I was writing this, the following thought popped into my mind. I believe it is terribly and frighteningly easy to become disconnected from the passing of the seasons and what they demand from us. I have always been the type of person who tends to see a year as one whole, endless thing, shapeless, undefined, and unchanging, with no defined, sharp edges. I believe this comes from keeping the same rhythm during the entire year, and I have found myself reflecting on this a lot. And so that way, the year just goes by. Unclaimed and untouched, unaffected by seasons, feelings, possibilities, senses, experiences, and depth. It was when I stopped that I finally started to see, and everything had been in plain sight, waiting to be felt, seen, heard, smelled, appreciated, thanked for. The feeling of the soft, cold air on my body when I exit my house in the morning to start my day, or when it's the weekend and I step out into the balcony to feel the morning sun on my skin. The warm air I breathe underneath my scarf that shields me from the cold. The tremendously, infinitely colorful leaves all around me. The fallen leaves under my feet as I walk down the street, the smell of a good cup of tea, the warmth of that same cup of tea on my hands. The feeling of being present. There is something about cold weather that has been forcing me to slow down. And I think this is what I meant when I said that I've gone for a long time without letting the seasons ask something different of me. There is something about cold autumn weather that makes me stop wanting, to actually want less, and instead be content with what I already have. To find contentment in the simple pleasures of life. It feels like an invitation to slow down. All good things are simple, uncomplicated. They are everywhere. Yet, we have become so used to overlooking them in our pursuit of more. Because of course that if I am constantly mindlessly scrolling through my phone, looking for the next shiny, trendy thing to buy that I don't actually need, but what if I do when I see it, then of course I am not going to appreciate my surroundings. It is in the lack of distractors that I can truly observe, take in what surrounds me, and stop wanting. It's in the absence of distractors, in the ruthless elimination of distractors, that I can truly love autumn. It is in the spaciousness left behind that I can thank God. It is in that spaciousness that time begins to slow down. Why do I keep wanting when I have everything I could possibly wholeheartedly need?
Good evening. I decided to add this reflection last minute. I was not going to add any comments at the end because I thought that what I wanted to transmit was just complete, and I find myself reflecting on stuff a lot more. And amongst the peace that I have been able to find and that I have been talking about, there has also been a lot of chaos and a lot of rushing, which is what I'm working on and which is what I'm trying so consistently to pay more attention to and be more mindful of. You will hear a lot of meowing, lots of cats and dogs. So amongst all these thoughts and reflections that I have been collecting, there has also been a lot of chaos and many, many, many distractors. I am so thankful to now be so much more mindful of all this, so much more mindful than what I used to be. And I do not want to paint a picture of me having everything figured out, because it is definitely the opposite. I don't have it figured out. And I think that that's why I'm here, because I'm working on all this, and it is a goal that I have to be more mindful, to continue learning about minimalism and slow living, because that is what I aspire to. My life during the past years has been, I don't know how to say it in English, it has been reshaped and redirected, that's probably the word, into things or towards things that I didn't think existed and didn't think I would ever want, because I simply thought there was no other way. So I wanted to say that amongst all this beauty that I have been able to find and all of these things that I've been sharing, there has been plenty of chaos, plenty of rushing, plenty of imperfections. I do not have it figured out, and that is why I'm sharing this, because it is in that chaos that these reflections happen and my life takes place. And it is in these moments that I can notice and see and take it all in and think about God and life and be way closer to God than I have ever been. So I wanted to say that. I wanted to add some final thoughts. I just realized that it would be a good idea. I hope that you are taking something out of all this. And as I said before, that this helps you somehow notice and look at what has been wanting to get your attention all along. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.